Hi YouTube, it's Angie Gabs, and I just want to thank you for popping by my little corner of the internet. Today we're going to be talking about something that I love to talk about, which is frugal living and affordability. So today I have 15 frugal living tips that are guaranteed to save you some money. First of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate how cheerful my outfit is? And I've even got some beautiful earrings I bought from an indigenous artist. I'm just living for this outfit. Anyway. So the first is to buy cleaners and dilute them rather than buying the fully mixed cleaners on the shelves. So cleaning products can be really expensive, especially depending on how much you clean. You can get a spray bottle and a bottle of Mr. Clean at the dollar store and dilute it with water as per the instructions and use that as a multi-purpose cleaner and save yourself companies just putting all the cleaners together and mixing it with mostly water in the bottle and then selling it to you for an increased price. So the second, especially up here in Canada right now, is to log on to government websites. I know that everyone wants to avoid government websites like the plague because the government websites are just terrible. I don't know how they managed to design them so poorly. Whenever people make giant conspiracy theories about the government, I'm like, have you ever tried to use a government website? The government can barely pull off a website, let alone I don't know, mind control or something like that. And see if there are any of the new affordable living rebates that you qualify for. The federal government and here in Alberta, our provincial government, if you live here in Alberta, are implementing some affordability measures to help fight inflation. The thing is that you have to sign up for a lot of these. So they have a dental plan for kids under 12 if you are below a certain income threshold. They have a rental top-up plan. You have to go onto the government websites and find these things yourself, which is kind of annoying. You may be able to save a significant amount of money or get some extra cash in your bank account, taking a few minutes and going on a government website and just doing a little bit of research. The third is to do a subscription audit. I know it's painful going through your bank statements and being like, where's money coming out? It's definitely worth your time. I logged onto my PayPal account when I was still working and I did a subscription audit and I found out that I was spending $100 a month on subscriptions. And half of the subscriptions were things that I didn't even want or need anymore. It's really important to go through every once in a while and make sure that you didn't sign up for a subscription at some point that you no longer want to be paying for. It's a good way to put some extra money in your pocket. The fourth tip is semi-related, and that is to rotate subscription services, especially when it comes to TV and movies. If there's something that's gonna come out, my mom and I really wanted to watch the Prince Harry and Meghan documentary, and so we have a Netflix subscription, but I deleted my Disney Plus subscription and now I'm working my way through things on Netflix. No one needs access to all of those things all at once. Say you were paying for 5 subscription apps and you decide to rotate out 3 of them and they were each $10 a month. Well, that's gonna add up. $30 a month over the course of a year. That adds up to a lot of money that you're saving by just rotating your subscription services. I talked about this in my video that I will link here, and it is a video that talks about all of the different things that you can save money on by buying secondhand. And the biggest one that I would like to say is furniture. Yes, you do have to be careful that you're buying it from a legit source. Don't just meet up with someone sketchy in a back alley and buy their bed bug infested couch. Do your research, make sure the seller is reputable, but at the same time you can save so much money and get better quality furniture that's not going to fall apart the same thing that you would have spent the same amount of money on at IKEA. So this next one's really frugal, but it's to use things until they're done. I know that sounds duh. Even me, someone that I consider to be very frugal and interested in affordable living, I'll get sick of things, I'll get tired of products and want to rotate and switch out and change things. And so I was throwing things away with uses still in them, like body wash and lotion and toothpaste and things like that. So use things until they're done. And then if you think they're done, make sure that you're getting every single use out of them. So my mom, you've heard of people cutting toothpaste tubes in half. My mom cut her Gold Bond, cut out the middle, and that's how she's getting the last few uses of Gold Bond out of her Gold Bond lotion. So to just use things until they're done. I know it's boring, it's not And especially in our consumer society, we always want to be buying new products. It'll help us save some money in the long run. So this is another tip where I strongly recommend thrifting if you can. I know that thrifting is definitely difficult, especially if you're plus size. Like, I'm plus size, I struggle to thrift sometimes. But at the same time, if you can thrift your clothes, you will save so much money. So much money versus buying things new. If you want, you can make a day of it. Like me and my friend, for her birthday, I gave her $50 and I had a 20% off coupon to Value Village. And then I had $50 budget as well. And we went to Value Village and we just like went shopping and we picked up anything and everything that we wanted, and then we checked out and we made like this really fun day of it. And we've decided to make it a tradition, make it into like a fun thing that you do with your friends, because there's always like ridiculous things on the shelves too and things like that, but you can find some really good stuff, especially things like activewear. Like, a lot of people donate activewear without even having used it like once or twice. There's a difference between being frugal and being cheap. And being frugal is knowing when and where to spend your money. I'd like to encourage you to really think about which things are really worth spending your money on. So sometimes we'll buy cheap things and then they'll break, and then we have to buy it again and again and again. And so sometimes it is worth spending a little bit of money on something to help you in the long run. Things that I'm thinking of are like a good quality winter coat here if you live in Canada, or good quality shoes, aren't gonna mess up your feet and your back, or things that are cheaper to just spend a little bit more money on now, so that way you don't have to keep replacing it over and over later. Sit down and think about what those things are for you. Where can you put this saved money it's gonna like stretch your money the farthest and get you the most joy and the most security out of your money? So the next tip I have is to delete shopping apps off your phone. I know it's so nice to like sit in front of the TV and go window shopping on your phone. That is how you get impulse buys. That is how you get sucked into consumerist sales and things like that. While you're at it, unsubscribe from emails from your favorite stores that talk about sales if you really don't want to be spending money there. When I was working, I was spending way too much money at Torrid, and so I had to unsubscribe from their emails because they were all constantly sucking me in with sales and language that made it seem like, oh, I had to buy it now or else it would go away.
On butt liquor, our prices have never been lower.
If you're really, really trying to save money, you can also delete your autofill for your credit card on your like different browsers. So that way, if you want to make a purchase, you have to physically get up and go get your credit card and enter in the information every single time. I got this idea from another YouTuber. I'll put her name right here. But I found that I was really bad for impulse buys on Amazon because I would need something and then I would go on Amazon and then I would buy things that I didn't necessarily need, or that I like convinced myself I needed in the moment, but then like later on I was like, why did I buy this? And so what she recommended doing was checking out of Amazon once a week. So if you want to buy something from Amazon, add it to your cart, and then once a week go through your cart and see if you still want those items. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of extra time, and then you're like, why did I put this in my cart? The next tip is to borrow your cookbooks. Try not to buy new cookbooks because you aren't sure if you'll like the recipes. Make sure you like the recipes first before you buy the cookbook, and you can do that through your local library. I never really thought about getting cookbooks for my library until I was like really poor, and then I was like, oh my gosh, they have a complete section of vegetarian cookbooks just like waiting for me to get that normally I would spend like hundreds of dollars on at a bookstore. You can participate in no spend challenges, pantry challenges, things like that. They're a good way to like reset your mindset and get you aware of what you've been spending and of areas that you can cut back and stuff. Learn to cook, take classes, read cookbooks, watch YouTube videos, read blog posts. One of the best things that I did for my money was learning to cook. And it was out of necessity because I couldn't afford to go out and spend money on takeout food. And so I had to learn to cook at home because the food that I was cooking at home at first was garbage. It was so bad.
Raspberries, more lady fingers, then beef sauteed with peas and onions, a little bit more custard.
I had no idea which flavors went together. I had no idea how to cook and do basic things, but learning to cook is one of the best ways that you can save money. Extend the life of the clothes that you really like by hanging them on drying racks. So I'll put like clothes that I don't really care about or that I want to be soft into the dryer. Before I put things into the dryer, I'll sort through my clothes, especially like t-shirts that have graphic prints on them and things like that. Those can get really worn out in the dryer, and so what I do is I take them out and I hang them on a little drying rack in my bedroom. It's a great way to preserve the life of your clothes, especially if the clothes are a little bit more cheaply made or they're just like good quality clothes that you don't want to wreck. It's a good way to take care of the things that you already own and make them last a lot longer. Last thing that I'm going to talk about is an app called Flipp. It's a flyer app, but the thing that I like about Flipp is go in and type in things that you buy frequently or things that, you know, are a little bit more expensive, like flour for me. Sort through all of the flyers and tell you which stores have those on sale for that week. Flipping through flyers feeds that same need for me that window shopping does. And so when I deleted like Sephora and stuff off my phone, I was able to flip through flyers. So for example, I needed plastic drawers because I was doing some organizing around my house. And I went into Flipp, and then I found the plastic drawers on sale at Walmart, at Lowe's, and at Home Depot, and I was automatically able to compare all of the prices without having to, you know, go through each website and do that myself. So I hope that you found some of these tips helpful, or if you're already frugal and you like affordable living yourself, that it was just kind of a helpful reminder and a little bit inspirational to get back into it. If you have any frugal and affordable living tips, I would love to hear them down below. I have a ton more. Like, I made a list and it was like over 100 tips, so I have more of these videos. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you so much for sticking to the end of the video. As a reward, I'll put some content of my favorite three-legged cat that I own, Miss Pepper Three-Stepper. Pepper's gone into business for herself to try and make some extra money, when she could just follow the frugal living tips that I had. Hey, right, Pepper? I want some pets. You can't sleep on the job if you're gonna be charging people. Thank you. Yeah, that's the right amount of change. This is an excellent product. I would definitely pay for it again.